Hello and welcome. My name is TyrionLanstr. Now for today I wanted to take a second to look at the predictions for the newest season of Alliance Conquest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start predicting. I'm going to go over here. I've already done the first layer of them, and I'll kind of explain my rationale on them, but I'll do the rest live with you now. So, BDR and RPG, I'm not going to get into the details. I think BDR is going to take this one. BDR is probably one of the top couple of alliances in here. They are right now just really dominating. They're at about 77 billion, it looks like. RPG, it's just not going to be able to keep up with that at 52. BDR is really well organized, so that's going to be an easy one. Next one, RRH and RYS. This was an interesting one. I think RRH was pretty fortunate, frankly, to get this high of a ranking. They're one of the weakest alliances just in terms of their total power, and if you look at their number of participants in most matches, it's not very high. Comparing that to RYS, they're getting 93, 60 billion. I think this is going to actually be a pretty easy win for RYS, so I feel pretty confident about that. Next, MAD and SPL. Now, I'm in MAD, and I will freely tell you that I'm picking MAD to win it all right now. I think MAD's really strong. I'm going to get into them a little bit later, but for our first match against SPL, feeling very strong. SPL just isn't going to be able to keep up. Not enough power, not enough strength. They're really not going to be able to do it. They do have good participation, though, so it should be an interesting match. All right, CTP and German Jokers. CTP is not as strong as they were last season. They don't have the Napoleon account. They've also lost some of the other accounts that have been joining them before. But I still think they're strong. They're well organized. I expect that they'll probably be fine against German Jokers. German Jokers have never shown much ability to really be successful in AC, despite being a pretty powerful alliance. But I don't think they're going to quite be able to beat CTP in this one. WTP and Ash. WTP is just too powerful. I have too many big whales. Ash won't be able to really keep up with that. Ash is strong, though. They're one of the stronger alliances. I think that 15th ranking is pretty low for them. They do have a lot of strong accounts. 70 billion power. I mean, they're a pretty troop whale heavy alliance, but they're one to watch too. N3O and OBV, I think N3O is just, they're the most powerful alliance in terms of raw power, over 100 billion. Everyone knows that that's kind of a misleading number, though. They're not quite as many true whales that they have, but they still have Fulgore, still have Tweety. They've got some strong members, so I wouldn't count them out. But I think that they should be able to beat OBV. I will give it OBV that they recruited basically Napo's old account. Light Yagami is what they call it now. And they are a very strong alliance, but I don't think they'll have quite enough to take on N3O. FDH and MHL. MHL has really gone, lost a lot of power recently. A lot of their members have moved to the ATD, as well as the WTP alliance. So I really think that they're not going to be quite strong enough to deal with FDH. FDH recently just acquired a bunch of people from OGs, and they're looking really strong. They just have a ton of participants, ton of power, definitely a formidable opponent. So I think FDH should take that. And then last I have HOH beating TBE. TBE is solid, definitely a very good alliance, but I just think that HOH, they've really done a lot of recruiting. They've got a lot of power. They know what they're doing. They're very well coordinated, so I think that they should be able to take that one. I do think that should be a close one. I think that realistically, that this match, the HOH versus TBE, is going to be maybe a little bit close. I see CTP and German Jokers being a little interesting, but probably CTP taking it easily. But I think those are kind of the only matches that'll be even remotely close. All right, BDR and RYS. I think BDR is going to take that pretty easily. I'm just going to go ahead and take them moving forward. If it'll let me. There we go. MAD and CTP, I think MAD should take that pretty easily as well. Like I said, CTP just doesn't have the same strength that they used to. WTP and N3O, this match will be a lot of fun. I think we've seen a lot of similar matches to this in the past. N3O has at times been able to take them out just through coordination and what they're doing. WTP, I'm going to take them winning. They have a ton of participants right now. They basically absorbed a lot of the run members, but also some of the members of KAC that left, like CC and Maromia. So it's going to be an interesting one. I just think that they have a ton of pure whales that are really, really strong. I'm taking WTP, but I will fully admit that this is the first match that I think could go either way. And by could go either way, I think WTP is the favorite, but I could see N3O coming up with an upset. Just based on how they did last season, they're very good at kind of surprising people. FDH and HOH, I think FDH will take it. I do think HOH will put up a good fight. I think that'll be a fun one to watch as well. But I think FDH just they're a few too many whales. I think that'll be a bit of a problem for HOH to handle. That being said, I do think HOH, similarly to N3O, is very well coordinated. They know what they're doing. They could pull off an upset there. Going down to the later half, I think that RPG should be able to beat RH. I think SPL and German Jokers, I think that should go to the German Jokers. Yeah, I think that they just have more power and they are a little more experienced. SPL is definitely looking formidable, though. That could be a fun one to watch. But I'm going to give it to the Jokers on this. Okay, Ash and OBV. This is a really interesting match. OBV will have the strongest account in Light Yagami, but Ash is good. Like, they've been very consistently making it to this level. I'm going to take OBV, but again, that's another one that could be very close. MHL and TBE, I'm going to take TBE. Again, I think that they have a lot more power right now. MHL is just kind of a little bit on the dissolving side, so I don't have a ton of confidence in them. They were able to beat TWA, and they had a solid victory over TOC. But if you look when they face some of the other stronger alliances, they've struggled a lot. So I don't know that I have a lot of faith in them to beat TBE in this one. Okay, Mad BDR. I think this is the match that just about everyone is paying attention to. BDR is the number 1 seed. They've got 100 participants in it. They've got Burgle, they've got Patton, Mr. X, I think is the Burgle account. But they're strong. They've got a lot of really powerful accounts. They're looking very intimidating. They've got very well coordinated alliance. They've kind of recruited a lot from some of the CTP members that have left. But yeah, they're definitely a formidable opponent. I'm going to take Mad in this one, even though BDR beat Mad earlier. I will give them this. They beat Mad in an earlier match. I think that Mad, when you look at their lineup and who we have right now, they just really seem like they're going to be a little bit too much for BDR to take on. Mad has a ridiculous number of whales right now. If we just look at this last match with KAC, they've got the Diver account, LA Lakers, which is the old GSW, EK, Beelzebub was the old Rum Runner account. And then you combine that with what they've had for a while, the Death to All account. I think that earlier Gaia, that's the old Telk account. Vilmaris is a strong account. Gone Mad. They've also been recruiting. They've got Phil, that account. Copper for. I mean, they really do. They've done a lot of recruiting in the last since the last season. Chris DeSales they've got now. This is a very formidable, scary looking alliance. And I do think that they're going to be able to pull it out. I think that this is a heated match, and I expect that both sides are going to use everything they've got, but I do expect that the winner of this is probably going to win it all. So I'm going to take match on this. Oh, they want me to do these first. Okay. So let's go down here real quick. RYS and RPG. Interesting one. I think RYS will probably take this. CTP and German Jokers, I'll give it to CTP again. N3 and OBV, I'll give it to N3O again. And then HOH and TBE, I'll give it to HOH again. Okay, so these next ones, so then we can go up here, do Mad. WTP and FDH, this is a fun one. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to give it to WTP, but that will also be a really fun match to watch. Just two really high-powered alliances going head-to-head. I just think that WTP has a few more whales, and I also think that WTP has faced tougher opponents, and I think that will make a big difference. I mean, they've beaten CTP, they beat CN1, they beat KAC. Those are tough opponents where I think they've gotten a lot of good practice with what to do and how to be successful in this game mode. FDH, on the other hand, just hasn't faced a lot of tough opponents. I mean, they're beaten 20 billion alliances, and that's just not enough practice. The only time they faced BDR, when BDR went down to face them, they got beaten bad. So right now, I'm going to go with WTP, but I do think that'll be a fun one to watch. Going down here, I think CTP will take that pretty easily. This is going to be a fun one, N3O and HOH. I'm going to take N3O, but I definitely think that's a fun one. Definitely an interesting one to watch between which of those two is going to pull that off. BDR and CTP, I think BDR should take that pretty easily. FDH and N3O, this is tough because I do think that N3O has the potential to beat them. I'm going to go with N3O on this. I'm going to stick to my guns on that. I think that N3O really is stronger than they look sometimes. Well, they look very strong, but people often write them off as being just troop whales, but they really do know what they're doing, and they're very solid. They're very well coordinated. They're very fast. I think that'll make a big difference. I think MAD should beat WTP. WTP has a lot of whales, but MAD has the whales to deal with them and the coordination. I think BDR should beat N3O. They've faced each other a lot before, and BDR always wins. I think BDR should beat WTP, and I think we'll get another MAD BDR final, and I think MAD should take it once again. So those are my final predictions. I'm hoping that a lot of these are right. I have a lot of confidence in a lot of these picks, but there are a good number that are up in the air. You could pick differently and be right. But I'm going to go ahead and lock these in. So there you have it. I'm choosing myself. I'm betting on MAD. We'll see how we do. But as the rounds go forward, I'll try to do more videos reviewing how some of the rounds have gone, who's won, who's lost, what were surprising, what wasn't, and we'll see next time. But until then, my name is TyrionLanstr. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.